What's the main point of verses 3 through 14 of chapter 1? That is, what is the point everything else is supporting? That's what I mean by main point. What's the point everything is clarifying, everything is defending, everything is guaranteeing? And that point is not hard to know, it's not hard to see, because Paul states it 3 times, and not only does he state it 3 times, he states it in a way as to say, it's the main point. That there's a grammatical construction. I'll read, let's just look at them, you'll see. The beginning of verse 6, I do hope you have your Bibles or your phone Bible open, because we're going to look at very specific words, because we're talking about mega issues that are sometimes confuted. Verse 6 at the beginning, unto or to the praise of the glory. Now notice it says in ESV, glorious grace, but that's fine, but I like the literal, unto the praise of the glory of his grace. Unto means that's the point. That's where we're going. That's where the universe is going. Election is going there. Predestination is going there. Adoption is going there. Redemption is going there. That's where we're going. We're going to praise forever glory of grace. Okay? So that's clear, especially because of verse 12. The end of verse 12. Unto or to the praise of his glory. Again, verse 14, at the end, to the praise of his glory. This is not hard. Right. Thank you, Paul. These verses are to tell us that the universe exists, election exists, predestination exists, adoption exists, redemption exists, inheritance exists, sealing exists, so that there will be a people praising glory of grace forever. That's where it's going. And I'll tell you, when I 22-something like me, 50, do the math quick, 70, I don't know. I'm 79, 22 years old. When that hit home, everything changed. I hope that happens or has happened for you. Everything in this paragraph serves to show that the glory of God is worthy of your praise. That's what this paragraph is for. Let's look at 2 of them. I wish we had time for 3. We don't. So we'll look at 2 of those 3 instances. So I'm starting to read at verse 4. He chose us. I know I'm jumping in the middle of a sentence. If you start anywhere in the first 14 verses, you're starting in the middle of a sentence. Because it's all one sentence. He chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and blameless before him. In love, he predestined us for adoption to himself as sons through Jesus Christ, according to the good pleasure, purpose of his will, to the praise of the glory of his grace, with which he has blessed us in the beloved. Why does Paul trace your election, your choice, your predestination, your adoption? Why does he trace it back before creation? You don't even need to go there, Paul. It just gets controversial when you do that. Why do you do that? He did it to establish clarify the nature of grace. What is grace? Why is it so glorious in Paul's mind? And he wants to clarify that. The grace of your being chosen, your holiness, your predestination, your adoption, that grace is free and unconditional because it happened and was made yours before you existed. That's the point. You didn't exist. You didn't contribute to this. Before you existed, He predestined you, Christian. He assigned your destiny to be His child. And the point of stressing that you didn't exist is to say His grace was free, unconditional. You didn't do it or contribute to it. You didn't exist. Now, he wants to make that clearer. It's not just that it happened before you existed. He wants to make it clearer. So at the end of verse 5, he adds two amazing words. He takes us, this is just mind-boggling to me that he would dare to do this. He takes us, shall we say, beneath, I don't want to say before because there's no time in God. He takes us beneath election. He takes us beneath predestination, as if you could go there. And he speaks of their, what shall we call them? Roots, the roots of choice, the roots of predestination. What moved him to choose you before you existed? What's the root? How do you get to the bottom of this? See that little phrase, according to the purpose of His will. According to the, another translation, perhaps a little more literal, Eutychian, good pleasure, stressing freedom, according to the good pleasure of His will. So where does His choice come from? That's what Paul's getting at, isn't it? He's going beneath predestination, beneath choice, and says it accords with this, way down here. That choice accords with this. What? Will. He willed and then He chose. It's like Romans 9:15. I will have mercy on whom I have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I have compassion. So then it depends not on human willing or running, but on God who has mercy. So he could have just said that, namely, predestination, choice, will. Bottom line, will of God. And he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. He goes another level down to purpose or good pleasure. This is just almost unfathomable to me that he would talk this way. He would invite us in to the mind of the eternal God before there's any universe at all, and God is thinking, planning, willing, with a good pleasure. Just mind-boggling. So I predestine, I choose, I will, I have a good pleasure. What's the point? What's he trying to say? Why is he doing this? His point is that it is free. It comes from nowhere. but God. Your choice comes from nowhere but God. Before you existed, and deeper than choice, deeper than will, all the way down to whatever this is called God's good pleasure.